February 27th, 2010. Monster Jam invades Jacksonville Municipal Stadium, better known now as TIAA Bank Field. Jacksonville has held numerous Monster Jam shows over the years, but none would even compare to this one. 4 trucks into freestyle, the show was looking to be an exciting and memorable one. The 5th truck out is Cam McQueen in Nitro Circus. McQueen was playing fairly conservative during his run, but little did people know that he would try the unthinkable.
He's looking for something special to do here.
Backflips have become a staple of Monster Jam Freestyle and Monster Jam as a whole. Not only that, but multiple innovations to the ramps and the backflip itself has allowed the backflip to become commonplace in the sport today. So that's what we're going to talk about. This is the very moment that changed Monster Jam Freestyle forever. But what led to this moment? And how was a backflip even performed? Well, let's answer those questions. A backflip is done very similar to how you would see a freestyle motocross bike perform it. In most instances, there is a set backflip ramp that is used. Depending on the ramp, depends on the approach leading to the ramp. Upon hitting the wall, which is usually either dirt or a container of some sort, is where you accelerate and throttle into it to make the truck drive up the jump and rotate 360 degrees. If all goes right, the truck will land roughly where it started. Answering the first question, what led to McQueen's groundbreaking move, is a whole different story of itself. There have been numerous instances of a backflip or a move similar to a backflip that took place before it became so common. Most notably Gothenburg 2007, where Tom Mance would hit the backside of the FMX hill and almost getting 360 degrees, but only rotated about 180. What helped him land the move was having the rear of the truck land on the top of the FMX hill and throttling out of it to land the flip. On commentary, Scott Douglas called it a backflip, which it technically is, however, he did not rotate 360 degrees, so it could be argued that it was not a backflip. Travis Pastrana also attempted one, and that was filmed for the Nitro Circus TV show. Pastrana had made a homemade ramp which had sent him very high with very little rotation. After the 2009 World Freestyle Championship concluded at Monster Jam World Finals 10, a special encore would take place. There, Tom Mance would attempt the world's first backflip. Unfortunately, he would over-rotate it, flipping him on his lid. The biggest movement in the monster truck backflip progression was the efforts of a particular driver that has been largely overlooked. Larry Quick, from May of 2009 onwards, had been attempting backflips at various independent shows with large success. Quick's first attempt was a successful one, and was completed in Bradford, Vermont at the Vermonster 4x4 event. It is important to note that with the exception of Gothenburg 2007, all of these moments were attempted with a purpose-built ramp. It's not only the approach from the truck, it's about the ramp itself. Throughout history, the backflip ramp has changed. In the beginning, it was mainly just made out of dirt. From 2011 to 2014, they used dirt backflips carved out the side of an existing jump, or semi-trailers in the case of the World Finals. Eventually, they moved to just dirt backflips, which were usually separate to the whole track, and were used from 2015 to 2017. Then came the sea container, and after that was the trench box. All provided their own strengths and weaknesses. The semi-truck trailers, even after being reinforced, would still crush very easily and not provide consistent rotations for other trucks. The dirt backflips, while probably being the easiest to make, were also very hit and miss. Some were perfect, others sent the truck straight up and down, and also relied on traction considering they were made out of, well, dirt. The sea containers for a while were a great solution because they provided the best results and very rarely caved in. They still did, however, and it still led to weird rotations. This led to the inclusion of the trench box backflip, which is now commonplace and what Monster Jam uses to this day. It provides consistent rotation and really doesn't give an inch, and still manages to get traction despite the conditions of the dirt. That then leads us back to where we started. With all of the previous examples we mentioned, none of them, with the exception of the Gothenburg backflip, took place in a scored competition. It was clear that McQueen was conserving his truck until the very end. It's also important to note that the ramp that he used was not purpose-built, and to add to that, it was theorized that hitting it like that again would not provide the same result, meaning it was a one-time gig. It was make or break. He had been praying that he would get it. All that was left was to try it, hope for the best, and go from there.
Do here. Oh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Did you see that?
This moment is what truly revolutionized the sport, and especially the competition it happened in, freestyle. The fans went wild afterwards in absolute awe of what they had just witnessed. And if it wasn't for Taz having an all-out amazing run, we could have seen McQueen win the whole competition. At World Finals, backflips became a staple of competition. At World Finals 11, a total of 3 backflips were either purposefully attempted or done by complete accident, none of which were landed. The next 3 years saw backflip ramps added to that year's World Finals tracks, which competitors could use in freestyle. They had also been added for special events, such as the Path of Destruction tours. From 2014 onwards, backflips had become an integral part of most Monster Jam shows, and by 2015, backflips had become a regular move attempted at shows and featured at pretty much all of them. But once a move is proven to be done and completed somewhat easily, innovation is bound to spark. Doing a regular backflip is one thing, but what truly makes this story incredible is the progression of the different types of backflips. At East Rutherford 2012 for the Path of Destruction tour, Tom Mentz attempted the first ever double backflip. A year later, he would try it at World Finals 14 and the 2013 Path of Destruction tour at East Rutherford. 2 years later, he would try the double backflip for the 2015 Path of Destruction tour in Foxborough, Massachusetts, where he would successfully land it. It would be attempted in Frankfurt, Germany a year later, and again at World Finals 19 in the Rampage Encore. But there's even more versions of the backflip. The corkscrew was originally one of the first, which was first done by, funnily enough, Cam McQueen in Northern Nightmare at World Finals 17. Then again a year later, along with Rosalie Raymer and Brianna Mahan both attempting the move as well. Chuck Warner had attempted it numerous times in 2017 and 2018. However, after the incident involving a failed corkscrew attempt by Brianna Mahan, the move has been banned from competition, though that didn't stop BJ Johnson from trying it at World Finals 19. It was briefly allowed back and used as a best trick move in the 2019 All-Star Challenge. Another was the reverse backflip, which was attempted first by, yep, you guessed it, Cam McQueen in Northern Nightmare. It was later attempted twice by Todd LeDuc, all of which failed the move. Neil Elliott became the first driver to successfully pull it off at Monster Jam World Finals 18. The consecutive backflip, which commonly is confused with the double backflip, is one of the more recognizable backflips, first being pulled off by George Ballahan in Mohawk Warrior at World Finals 13. However, the most recent progression in backflips has been the 4 momentum backflip. First attempted in 2017 at World Finals 18, then again at the Monster Jam live show on Discovery Channel, and most recently both the attempts of the new double forward momentum backflip and the reverse forward momentum backflip. Another iteration, more so relating to the ramp rather than the flip, is the 8-pack backflip ramp, or more commonly referred to as the mini flip, where instead of hitting a straight wall or a trench box, drivers hit a ramp with a small build-up before flipping off a set of 8 tires, packed into the dirt, and this causes the truck to get a much smaller rotation if done correctly. All of these iterations have helped explain the importance of the backflip and what innovation it led to. But what about the impact it had on the freestyle competition and the sport in general? The impact of the backflip in the sport is undeniable, and especially so in the freestyle competition. When it was first introduced, it was very much a high risk, high reward, and that's why it was only featured at certain shows. That eventually changed when Monster Jam made it regularly available in 2014 onwards. While Monster Jam progressively made it easier for drivers to hit it, you've got to remember too that it was also more safe. Let's not forget that many drivers have had rough landings off the dirt backflips and the older backflips in general, including the icon Dennis Anderson. However, safer backflips have arguably led to more innovation and excitement, because the art of nailing a backflip isn't something easy, and it still requires a lot of preparation and strategy. Innovation with the new ramps like the trench box and especially the mini flips have still made it enjoyable and brought virtually every stop a chance to see a truck perform a backflip. It's now even featured in arena shows. It's now become a must-see for new spectators, people that aren't familiar with the sport, who are in awe of seeing a 12,000-pound truck rotate 360 degrees. However, without question, its must-see appeal has made it so that most times out of 10, a run with a backflip of some kind is a guaranteed win, even if the rest of the run is average, and this is largely due to the fact that scoring in freestyle is decided by the fans, and with the large majority of fans probably never seeing a backflip before, or not every single week like diehard fans, probably seals the deal for them that is the win. But it inherently isn't a bad thing. The backflips are what wins runs. It's the same as moonwalks or Ryan Anderson sidewalls winning the two-wheel skills competition. And it's because no matter how many times it's done, it still finds a way to excite the crowd. It's no different to people expecting huge air from Cola or Mance or a crazy save from the Andersons. Backflips have become a staple of the sport. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon with some more Monster Truck content.